castor oil is not the cure all and be all. Good morning, good evening, good night, whenever you all are watching this up and through here. It's me, your girl, Cedar Diva E. I'm here with as natural as a face as I could. And for the most part, my natural hair is crochet braids. So I want to get that out of the way. How you doing? All right? Okay, let's go. This is part of me kind of putting my business out there. I know some of my videos that I've been saying that I've been dealing with health issues. So I'm going to delve into it. 4 things that you may not know that causes hair loss. 1, if your blood count is consistently low, guess what? After a while, your body is going to react and your hair is going to start to change texture. So you'll notice that the hair that was once kinky gets slightly wavier. That's 1. Then you start to get bald patches. That's 2. Those are the 2 things that low hemoglobin in your blood causes. Yes, castor oil does work. Yes, my products do work. But people, you have to work with the inside as well as the outside. I'm not even talking about stress, because sometimes stress is unavoidable. You could be as big as a house and your blood count is low. Size does not a good blood count make. Number 2 and number 3 goes hand in hand with each other. Hypothyroidism and PCOS. 2 things that causes your thyroid to malfunction. It's low iodine and soy. Let me give you an explanation. When I was in my teens, 14, 15, I developed a problem where I was vomiting blood. No one knew where it was coming from. Nobody knew the cause. My mom and I, along with my uncles and they, we took tests at private hospitals. We went to public sector. Nobody knew. And this thing persisted up until my 20s. Especially when I get stressed, it will trigger and I will start throwing up blood. One of the things that the doctor told my mom to do is to take me off of meats and rice and stuff and put me on soy. Now in those days, there was not a lot of research on soy, but soy was the hottest thing on the market. So my mom had me on soy cheese, soy chunk, soy milk, soy, everything soy. And I was on soy for years. And then it came up that you should not use table salt. And then my mom took me off of table salt and put me onto sea salt. And after years of doing that, I developed PCOS when I was like 19, 20. Now your thyroid, remember what I said about the table salt, right? And the sea salt. I'm coming back to that. And if your thyroid regulates your hormones, regulates your metabolism. If your metabolism is slowing down, you gain weight. And lastly, the 4th thing that affects your hair is gallbladder disease. Yes, I had that on my cards too. Had because I believe that I'm healed. Your liver produces bile. Your bile is stored in your gallbladder for when you eat, to squirt it out into your bowels to mash up the food. What happens is that the liver constantly produces the bile to store in the gallbladder, but there's a malfunction in the gallbladder because the gallbladder cannot release the bile in a timely fashion in order for the food to be broken up. So you develop digestive problems. The bile stays in the gallbladder, it develops sludge, and some people get gallstones. This also affects your hair, but to the stage of your hair becomes so dry, even when you touch the hair, and it can become so brittle. So imagine me dealing with these 4 things, and these 4 things wreak so much of havoc on my hair and my skin. But look at my hair. My hair is super thick. Look at my hairline. My hair is super thick, super healthy. Yes. whatever I do works hand in hand with my products, because you cannot work with the outside unless you work with the inside. It's not always about moisture and protein. Yes, your hair needs the moisture and needs the protein, but sometimes it's really about getting inside right. So first things first, for low hemoglobin, you need to add iron and folic acid into your diet. And I'm not just talking about the things that you eat, you need to supplement them. In Trinidad and Tobago, you can go over the counter at the pharmacy or the druggist, and you will always see the folic acid loose in a pack. That's a month's supply. It's sometimes $6 or $8. And you will also see the folic acid right next to it. You will see the iron tablets. It's a small red pill, right? You use them together, and within 2 weeks you will realize that not only are you feeling better, but your hair is starting to improve. For hypothyroidism, even hyper, and for PCOS, iodine, liquid iodine. Remember I was saying about the salt? Here's how the iodine comes into play. The governments of the day, let's say in the 50s, 60s, realized that iodine was no longer coming up in the quantities that they wanted from in your fruits and vegetables and stuff, because the soil was being depleted because of all the turnaround. So what the government of the day did is that they placed iodine into our table salt. Ting! So when they placed iodine in our table salt, we got what we needed. Then the FDA decided that salt was not good, table salt was not good for us. It was raising your blood pressure, when all they could have said was be limited in your amount of salt. In everything you need to be limited in. So they said to use sea salt. A lot of us don't read labels. When you pick up a bottle of sea salt, you will see this is not a source of iodine. Why would they put on the label, very small, this is not a source of iodine, if your body didn't need it? What is the importance of it? Mind blown. Mind blown. Because I was cooking with sea salt years, and after a while my thyroid had to malfunction and I developed PCOS. Have you all noticed that in recent years a lot of women have been diagnosed with PCOS? A lot of women have been diagnosed with hypothyroidism. Your body needs iodine. People, be wise. Be wise as a serpent. The Bible says to be wise as a serpent and to be as calm as a dove. So how did I combat my hypothyroidism and PCOS, which goes hand in hand? Those two things caused me to have a 60-something to 70-something day cycle. The solution for that was this: J. Crow's Lugal Solution 2% liquid iodine. So this little baby in Trinidad costs $25. It can be found on Amazon. I'm going to link it below because there are different sellers. 25 TT, it's about $6 US. I would use 5 drops of this in a glass of water every day. Once a day, 5 drops. And within the first month, my cycle jumped from a 62 to a 40-something day cycle. I was blown. By the second month, my cycle jumped to a 32-day cycle. I've been using this for some months now. And in me using it, I realized I started to lose weight. And my cycle is now, I am proud to say, without any medication from any doctor, a 32 to a 34-day cycle. And when I added this to my diet, my hair started shooting out. And it also started to thin out the hair that I got from PCOS. And lastly, gallbladder disease. Gallbladder disease is a digestive thing. So I would advise at the beginning, you take something that's called a cleanse. In Trinidad and Tobago, we say a purge. When you clean your system, then you start putting things in that help in the digestive process. I'm not saying go vegan. Find a diet that works for you. I know that this video was long. All these things are contributing factors to why your hair is not growing, to why your hair suddenly is dropping out, to why you're suddenly developing bald patches, all these things. That's it. I'm done. I want you to comment below your hair journey. What aided you on your hair journey? Have you encountered any of these 4 things that I've discussed? And what you're going to do to combat it now that you know this knowledge. So guys, that's it. From me to you, much love. From my home to yours, much love. Keep looking beautiful, divas, because God knows I do. And if you haven't already subscribed, join the Diva Nation now.